Goedenavond en welkom bij Nova College Tour. Hij is de baas van een van de grootste IT-bedrijven ter wereld. Bijna iedereen gebruikt zijn software. Zijn persoonlijke vermogen, schrik niet, $11 miljard. Hij is ambitieus, hij is extreem energiek, een beetje ordinair en soms arrogant. Zijn persoonlijke top 3 met vijanden Apple, Google en Nelly Kroes. Onze gast vanavond in Nova College Tour. En ik interview hem hier op de Erasmus Universiteit in Rotterdam samen met 600 studenten. De baas van Microsoft, Steve Ballmer. Welcome. Is it good enough?
Woo! It's
Yes?
good to be here in Rotterdam.
Very good. What kind of student were you?
Not bad. I worked hard until some of the years in university. Don't tell anybody.
What happened?
I decided that doing this business stuff was more interesting and I stopped going to all my classes.
Is this at Harvard University, the best one in the world, as we heard today?
Well, I don't know if it was the best, but I didn't go to any classes for a long time, for a while.
Okay, we know you from making an appearance in your own Microsoft world, which is wild and crazy. How do you energize a crowd like this? 600 people, what do you do?
Well, I think one of the fun things is I get to work with some of the most fun products, and people are always interested in hearing what's new. Whether we're ahead or behind, what's coming with Xbox, hey, I like the new Windows, hey, I don't like the new Windows, blah, 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 blah. But, people are interested, and I'm interested in sharing my enthusiasm.
And it works.
Well, sometimes. We'll see today. With students, it always works, because students actually have a lot of passion for a lot of things. So it's always most fun talking to university groups.
Right. The way you come up in an audience, normally when you speak for Microsoft personnel, let's have a look at what happens then.
Introducing new Microsoft Windows XP.
Now, how much do you think Microsoft Windows is worth?
All my pictures, all my music, all my videos, all in one place.
Developers, 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 developers.
I love this company. Yes!
You're in a country where the saying is, act normal, that's crazy enough. That's not your motto, is it?
That's normal.
Oh, this is normal. Right.
Although I got to admit, I know those videos exist. I've never watched them. I hate watching myself, so you just tortured me.
Are you ashamed or what?
I'm not ashamed, but I'm always working on losing weight, so I really hate looking at them.
Any questions?
Well, hello, Mr. Ballmer. Well, as we've just seen, we all know that you are not a boring aristocratic CEO, but you are actually quite funny and crazy in a way. But I like that. My question is that how do you ensure that your way of leading adds something positive to the company and the corporate culture, and not that your employees start seeing you as some sort of a charlatan or something?
Yeah, it's actually a really good question. One of the things I think everybody, not just everybody who's a leader, everybody has to do is figure out a way to be themselves and at the same time be genuinely themselves. People, particularly in leadership spots, but people overdo everything. I overdo. I mean, I am an energetic and enthusiastic person, but let's face it, you know, you get a little bit too much adrenaline going, a little bit too much of a rush, but as long as you have periods where you can then calm down, slow down, and really talk to people.
Have you always been like this?
No. No, I actually was very shy as a kid. And even when I went to graduate school in business, the people who met me when I first arrived will still comment, I was 23, 24 years old. People will tell you I was quite nervous. Hi, Steve Ballmer. Sorry I'm so nervous to meet you.
When did it change?
It sort of started a little bit in college, a little bit before that. Oh boy. And then I'd say really at Microsoft, you know, I'd done some public speaking, and it's a question of getting more confident. You get more confident and it becomes more comfortable.
Right. We digged a little bit in your past.
I see.
Yes, and we found stuff. Are you getting nervous?
Well, those pictures made me nervous. I hope there's nothing worse.
The funny thing is that your father was an employee for Ford Motor Company, and he worked for a brief time in Belgium. And you were studying in Belgium, right?
Right, 3 years.
3 years. How old were you?
8 years old to 11 years old. We lived just outside Brussels in a Flemish neighborhood.
And you went to school there?
I did.
Yes. We found one of your old teachers. Let's have a look.
Oh no.
Ik herinner mij nog omdat het zo'n struis Amerikaantje was met een crewcut, zo'n militaire haarstijl. Hij was ook wel een leider. Zowel in het klaslokaal als op het speelplein. In het klaslokaal bijvoorbeeld, als ik iets vroeg, wie brengt... Steve was recht en die had het al gehaald. Wie deelt dit uit? Steve ging alles uitdelen. Op het speelplein organiseerde hij hoe het ging, maar altijd op een heel aangename, plezierige manier.
This is one of your former teachers.
Miss Van Stickel.
You know her. You remember
Absolutely.
her.
Absolutely, I know her. Second grade. I was 8 years old.
Yeah, was she tough on you? Or?
Yeah, very. Very, actually.
You still have nightmares? Or?
Well, my father got transferred to Brussels at the end of my second grade year. And I got to her class, spent 1 month, and she wrote a note to my parents. Steve's having trouble in school. He might not do very well in third grade. And it scared me a lot. Mm-hmm. So I studied the whole summer between second and third grade just because of Miss Van Stickel.
She was good for you and your career.
Woo! Very good.
Okay, let's jump a bit. 30 years ago, you joined this company, Microsoft. Why did you choose for a startup company that nobody had ever heard before?
Well, I really didn't. I was trying to decide which of the big companies. I talked to Ford, where my dad worked, and a number of other big companies. And then Bill called. And he said, hey, Steve, geez, I really could use you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, Bill, I haven't graduated yet. He says, oh, I don't really care. But I said, well, I really should finish up, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, okay, I'll come talk to you. And when I went for one reason. Bill was the smartest guy I'd ever met. And I felt like no matter what else happened, I'd never be in a position where I didn't respect the intelligence of my boss. And I never had that problem, certainly with Bill. You know, always, he and I fought a lot. That's also the nature. You know, we argue, blah, blah, blah. But Woo!
You still
He's
do?
got one good brain.
Are you still fighting?
We always are arguing. We're friends. We argue. I like to say it's a lot like brothers.
Right.
They love each other, but you can't tell every minute of every day.
Yeah. So when you came in the company, how was it doing at the time? Was there any profit? Did they do well or not?
Company was $2.5 million in sales, and we made some profit. Bill had run the company very well, but it was $2.5 million in sales. And I don't know, I think I was the 30th employee. Somebody told me I was the 24th employee. But it was a small little company. I got to work the first day. There was no desk. Bill had a couch in his office, and he said, you can have the left side of the couch if you push the papers out of the way. My parents didn't understand didn't understand at all why I dropped out of business school to go join that company.
They protested it. They were against this idea, right?
Oh, yeah, it was funny. I go home and I tell my mom and dad, I'm going to go to work with my friend Bill Gates. And they said, well, we like Bill. He's a nice boy, blah, blah, blah. And they said, but what does he do? I said, he makes software for personal computers. And my father, very smart man, said, what is software? And my mother said, why would a person ever need a computer? So yeah, they had some doubts about what I was up to.
But they were proud in the end.
Absolutely.
Probably, okay. Would you advise these guys who are at the beginning of a career to go to a startup, young and dynamic, or go to an well-established company?
I love people coming to our big company, but let's face it, there's no better time to try the risk of a startup than when you're young. But the most important thing is get fired up, get passionate, love something about what you're doing. That's the number one thing I would encourage.
Here you go.
Hi, Steve. Let's say Microsoft was purchased by IBM and you would have finished graduate school at Harvard. Where would you have seen yourself today?
Well, I probably would have taken one of the other jobs I was interviewing for. Most likely, I would have gone and been a management consultant, but I hope I wouldn't have. The other job that really interested me was to go be the assistant to the president of a car insurance company. It was a tiny little car insurance company, and actually it's a brilliant company. It's now the third largest car insurance company in the United States because they just had brilliant people and they've gone from nothing to something. I suspect I'd be sitting there asking you if you need car insurance today.
I think you would have been out of a job today.
I might have been.
Over there.
In times of crisis, you see the real leaders. I went over your corporate values at your website, self-criticism and self-improvement. What has been your latest self-criticism and how did it help to contribute your self-improvement as a leader, especially in these times?
I'm always working on the same thing. The good news is I'm energetic and outgoing. The bad news is sometimes that sort of scares people from giving me their best idea and best thinking. So I'm learning to modulate a little bit in order to encourage others to bring me kind of their best ideas.
Bill Gates, he's a phenomenon. He's the richest man in the world. I think he lost like 15 billion last year, but still, he's on top of the Forbes and the Fortune list. You already explained that you act like brothers almost, and you have a long relationship with him. Let's have a look at a little clip.
I'm very excited to be announcing that Steve Ballmer is taking on the role as CEO. Who? Him? Who? Him? Who? Him? Him? Who? Me?
I'm excited about the incredible opportunities in front of the company.
I've been the CEO of Microsoft for 25 years, and they've been very exciting years.
We've got a great team. Having Bill be a full-time member of that team as chief architect is outstanding, and I couldn't be more pumped up.
How weird is it to take over from a guy like that in 2000 like you did? How difficult was it to be the next CEO of this company?
A lot harder than I thought it would be. No, I didn't think it would be that hard. I'd worked with Bill nonstop, every day, all day, 20 years. So I thought, well, okay, This shouldn't be too hard. I know what the job is. And I said to Bill, don't make me CEO unless you really want me to be CEO. Because for 20 years, we had agreed. Bill's the senior partner. I'm the junior partner. And I said, if you want really to switch, we got to switch. And then we spent a year arguing about what that meant.
I heard it
and I spent a few years learning how to do the job. So it was a lot harder than I thought.
We heard and read that it got so bad at a time that your wives had to help you guys stop fighting. Is it true?
Well, yeah, sort of. Yeah. Sort of.
Just give me the picture. How does it...
Our wives encourage us to go out for dinner, just the two of us. And I don't know, there's an old American movie called My Dinner with Andre. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. It's a 2-hour movie of two guys talking at a dinner table, just talking at a dinner table for 2 hours. I felt like my dinner with Bill was my dinner with Andre.
It's horrible.
But very quiet for the first half hour because we were working through how to change our roles. And, you know, because we really care for each other and really respect each other, despite the fact it was very tough for both of us, we got through it.
Okay, questions here. Please stand up.
Hi, Steve. I was wondering if you need an intern. Thank you very much.
We hire a lot of interns. You didn't have to ask the question to find out. We run a big intern program. Send me some mail, steveb@microsoft.com. If I knew Theo Rinsema, who runs our subsidiary here in the Netherlands, email address, probably theo.rinsema@microsoft.com. Send him a piece of mail. Tell him I sent you.
Where are you? Stand up again. What? Because now everybody is going to take your trick. What is your name so he remembers?
My name is Deirdre Grass. I'm a master's student at RSM Business School. And, well, I'll send you an email. I'll call you.
Email works better. This is an electronic world.
Yeah. Do you carry your passport? Maybe you could join him today.
I'm ready to go. I got my passport. My ESTA is filled in. I got my resume.
Oh, you're getting me in trouble now.
I know. This will not be broadcasted in your hometown, I promise. Let's go to this side. Yeah, here for.
What's more important for you, freedom and democracy or money?
Freedom and democracy or money? I think in general, the most important thing for society is freedom and democracy. I think what everybody has learned is it's easier to have freedom and democracy in societies that are more affluent. And partly what I think we need to do is to help stimulate the global economy, because as affluence rises, generally freedom and democracy rise as well.
But freedom of speech, you need internet for freedom of speech, and Microsoft has a lot of influence in the internet. Some countries you disconnect the internet for the people who need freedom of speech.
Like in China, for example.
For example, yes.
Yeah. I think, you know, we're a global company. If we're going to do business in a country, we have to obey the laws of that country. That's kind of the rules. If we're not going to obey the laws in the country, we should exit. And so we have three choices in any country. Do we exit? Do we stay and try to be part of changing the system? And that's what we're doing in China. And we've been clear with the Chinese government that we will take down material if we are required to under the law, but we will tell people outside China it has been removed and what it was and at the request of the Chinese government. So we're trying to improve from within the system as opposed to leaving the system.
Are there any countries where you don't do business?
There are certainly countries where we're not even allowed to do business.
Like?
Well, you know, you take there are a few countries which are on the list. They are, I think, fairly obvious candidates, and we don't do business. It doesn't mean people don't use our products.
Why do you hesitate to say? I mean,
because I'm not remembering what the official list is. It's not because I'm trying to be
it's a long
secret.
list.
It's a couple or three countries where I think we're
Iran?
not allowed. Iran, I think, is a
North Korea?
country. North Korea is certainly a country where we are not allowed to do business. But I am sure if we could go visit North Korea, we would find computers, we would find Windows that wasn't paid for. We would find all of those things, I am sure, if we went to North Korea together.
Okay, next question.
Hello, Steve. My name is Sarah, and we are from the Eiburg College, which is a high school in Amsterdam. You have $11 billion, which is a lot of money. And we were wondering, what are you planning to do with so much money?
It's a good question. It turns out that I think you have to be really focused and thoughtful to give away money also. My wife and I, we give away, some money every year, and it would be significant, I'd say, except it's not significant compared to the total that I've been lucky enough to earn. Someday, after I'm not working at Microsoft, I think part of my job will be figuring out how to productively put that money back into society. But for now, I don't have time between my wife, my family, and my job. I have a pretty full-time, I'm pretty full-time busy.
So it's sitting there, but you're not
It's
using
sitting there mostly in one thing. And I do work on that every day. It's mostly sitting in Microsoft stock. And I'm working to make it more valuable.
Right. There is something that is called a CEO Wealth Monitor. Have you ever visited that website?
I haven't.
On which you can see what people like you earn on a day. And I watched it yesterday, and yesterday, because of the stock went a little bit up probably, you earned $190 million.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that. What Twan's not telling you is I probably lost more than that the day before. So don't get too upset.
Which is not true because I checked the day before.
Oh,
as well,
okay.
but I mean, are you even interested in your bank account, or is it something that is an absurd, grotesque number?
Yeah, I don't pay any attention. I don't. I know because of the good fortune I've had, I don't have to worry about, kind of financial things. So I don't, and I put all my energy then into my family and into my work life.
Right. Next question, over there.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
How is Microsoft's Bing.com search engine going to take away share market from Google?
Probably it'll take us a while. Let me start with the fact that, there's a clear leader in internet search, and it isn't us.
And it is? Can you pronounce the name, baby?
Something like that.
All right. And you're at war with Google, right?
Well, I want to talk about search, because they're going to try to do things where we're strong. But in this case, you say, hey, look, we think we've got some innovative ideas on how to change search. Natural language will change search. If you look at the results we give on big.com, we're actually trying to help you get to the answer, not to all the links, which is a different point of view. I'm not saying Google's wrong, and there you go, see? Yeah. You waited for me to say it, though.
Exactly.
I'm not saying they're wrong and we're right. I'm just saying I think there's alternate approaches. There's new user interface. There's new techniques. And as people have often said to me that we need good competition, I think they need good competition. So we're just going to keep coming with Bing, and then we'll try new stuff. We'll do more innovation and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. We're going to put all of our best brain power and creativity just to give a little competition to this market leader.
For the people who don't know, Bing is your browser. Google, everybody knows. And then...
search engine.
Search engine. And,
Bing, Bing, Bing.
Stop it. Okay, here comes my revenge. Let's work down your enemy list. We have Google. Now we're going to go to maybe number 2, Apple. You're not friendly with the Apple people as well, or are you?
Well, personally, we're fine. I mean, our products will compete certainly in the market.
Let's see about the competition here, because Apple naturally has all these cool products that everybody wants to have. At least we think they do. Who has here an iPhone from Apple? And anybody got an iPod here? And keep your hands raised. And anybody got an Apple computer or laptop here?
Now let's try it the other way. Anybody have a Windows computer here? Yeah!
Is it in any...
We both make some pretty good products, I guess.
I guess so, but still, is it frightening to your company, to you, that young kids are fascinated by the Apple products?
Look, we're going to have competitors in everything that we do, and that, you know, our job is to try to do interesting products, affordable products, versatile products, and, you know, Apple's going to try its own approach. Apple tries to... They don't go after the broad market, usually, that we do. They target different people. And yet, of course, we're going to compete. And I think everybody understands competition is a good thing. Mm-hmm. I was very happy to see the number of hands that went up on Windows computers.
Let's see how Apple frames the competition between you, Microsoft, and Apple in their commercials. Let's have a look.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
Hold up. Here I come.
Whoa, PC?
Yeah. It's all this trial software. They pack my hard drive full of it, all these programs that don't do very much unless you buy the whole thing, or are just plain useless. Really slows me down.
You know how it is. Oh, actually, I don't. Macs just come with the stuff you want, like iTunes, iMovie, iPhoto, iWeb. It's all part of iLife.
Yeah.
Are you
Let's
ready?
just do this, okay?
Okay. Hello, I'm a Mac.
I forgot something.
Is it annoying to see this commercial, or...?
Yes. Since you asked.
Yeah. And
it's their right, but you know, I think it's almost offensive to the 96% of people who use a PC, but I'm annoyed because I compete.
Is it true that in your household you have 3 sons and a wife, that no Apple product is allowed in your house?
We don't happen to have any Apple product. My sons, if they want to use their own money, they know they can use their own money to do whatever they want. But if they want to use my money...
Over there.
Yes, Steve. You said that Microsoft is going for the broad market, but not just for the broad market, but many markets all around the world. And I'm just wondering if Microsoft is not overstretching itself to all these different markets.
I ask myself that frequently. I do. It's a good question. I think we are able to put enough... The scarcest resource at our place is smart people. Not because we don't have a lot, but because we're trying to do a lot of things. Hey, I gave out my email address already. I'm always looking for smart, talented people. And so the real question is, do we have the kind of brilliant people who can really do important innovations in all those areas? We are stretched, but I think we have the capability to take on these broad challenges.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Before we go on, please stand, but let's have a look at one of your strongest competitors, Apple, and the guy who's in charge of Apple and what he has to say about your products and your company. Steve Jobs.
The only problem with Microsoft is they just have no taste. They don't think of original ideas, and they don't bring much culture into their product. I am saddened, not by Microsoft's success. I have no problem with their success. They've earned their success, for the most part. I have a problem with the fact that they just make really third-rate products.
Steve Jobs, Apple.
Steve's entitled to his opinion. Now, that's about a 20-year-old opinion, but that's okay. Steve is entitled to his opinion. I think his opinion might be the same, might be different. You'd have to ask him. But the fact of the matter is I don't live for Steve Jobs' opinion. It's only one set of opinions I care for, and those are the opinions of our customers. And if our customers are selecting our products, I'm happy, whether Steve's happy or not. And if our customers aren't selecting our products, like we'd like them to do a little bit more with Bing, I'm unhappy. And at the end of the day, that's the only way somebody running a business can think about things. Are we delighting the people that we're here to serve? Not our competitors, not the rhetoric, blah, blah, blah. It's all about the customers.
You said we are always looking for interns. This year you had to fire 5,000 people. Was it the first time in the history of Microsoft that you had to fire somebody?
Yeah, we fired somebody. It's the first time we've done a major set of redundancies.
Because of the recession and the crisis.
And we still had over 1,000 interns working for us last summer.
Right, but they're cheap.
Well, it's not about the expense. Really, it's not. It's important, even if you are going to have a smaller company, you still need a vital source of new talent, new blood, new ideas. And so we're going to have interns for the summer, and we're going to hire, a regular flow of people right out of university, because if you're not bringing in new talent, you can't, really survive and prosper as a company.
Okay, let's see. Over there.
Yeah, hi Steve, nice to meet you. What I wondered is, how does Microsoft view the threat of competitors offering products for free? For example, say Microsoft 7 against, hold on the G word, Google Chrome, for example.
Well, in the world of the internet, there are going to be a variety of things that people used to pay for that now can get offered for free. We've been competing with Linux. For a number of years, Linux is free. Free's not magic. It's just another price. And so, in a sense, what I tell our people is we've got to offer better value.
But this generation is basically, sorry for the word, stealing everything. They're copying illegal movies. Who copies, downloads movies illegal?
Yeah.
Come on, be honest. Music. Music, yes. And what about Windows 7, his new toy? I mean, if you could get a hand on it, would you copy it illegal? Oh, they have it. Who has it? You're lying.
Oh, the beta's out there. I'm sure there are people who have it. I hope so.
But this is a big problem for you, because if everybody steals, you don't get any profit. How do you solve that problem for people getting their stuff for free?
Look, we've been coping with the notion of people stealing our stuff forever. It's not a new phenomenon to have people copy software. We made a decision about 25 years ago that
there is one here, actually. He has your... Is it Windows 7, what you have there?
Yes, this is Windows 7.
Okay, arrest him.
Let me explain. I also attended to your keynote this morning, and we received a free copy, so thank you.
Oh. Not stolen. It's not stolen at all.
No, it's going to happen. The question is, do we make it a lot harder for the people who pay by making it tough to copy? We made a decision and said we're not going to make it super tough to copy, but we're going to have to convince people that it's worth, getting the real thing. We're not going to do perfectly, but we're sure going to try.
Okay, let's talk about somebody else. Somebody who was a student at this university. Somebody who's probably in your top 3 of enemies next to Google and Apple. Let's talk about Nelly Kroes, but first let's have a look at her.
Microsoft has illegally abused its market position. Microsoft continued to abuse its powerful market position after our March 2004 decision requiring it to change that practice. There are lessons that I hope Microsoft and any other company contemplating similar illegal action will learn.
1.7 billion euros. That's a lot of money. How have you been talking about this woman, Nelly Kroes, in your offices? Did you hate her? Was she the witch of the company? Or?
No, look, we respect people do their jobs. And I know Commissioner is doing her job the way she sees right. When you're the market leader in a new market, what does that mean? What are the new rules? Because rules get written essentially around new situations. Commissioner's doing her job to the best of her abilities. We've been doing our jobs to the best of our abilities. I think everybody acts in good faith. We're trying to do our jobs and work this through to the best of our abilities.
By coincidence, it looks like Microsoft and Nelly Kroes is coming to an agreement. This is the front page of the Financial Times, and this article is about that agreement. But the question is, why did you battle her so long for so much money for something you had to do in the end anyway?
over the course of the period of time, what the commission was doing and what we were doing was actually trying to define a new set of rules that would be appropriate in this day and age. Now we're hopeful that we all understand what might be an appropriate new set of rules, but one that allows us to continue to put new innovations into Windows and do what I think our customers want us to do.
Questions?
What does your work make so much fun? And do you still have goals to achieve?
Oh, yeah. I love my job for a few reasons. Number one, I get to meet and talk to great, interesting people inside the company and out. I get a chance to work on things that I think make a very positive difference in society. And I get to work on hard problems that keep my brain kind of activated and engaged. You had a second part to your question,
the goals.
but I forgot.
Yeah, because
goals. Goals. My sons have goals for me, clear goals. Dad, you have to be this successful in music players. You have to be this successful in search before you retire. So get to work, Dad. I said to them, maybe I should stay home. They say, no, Microsoft needs you to go achieve these goals. So I take that from my sons.
You achieved a lot, but what do you want to achieve for yourself?
No, the thing that would be most fun for me is 10 years after I'm gone from Microsoft, that it's far more successful and far more effective a company than it ever was when I was there. Because that would mean that we had set things up for future success, and I don't think I'll know whether I've really done a good job until I've been gone a long time.
Are you leaving anytime soon?
What I've told people is I'll leave when my last son goes to university. He's 10 years old, so you've got me for a long time.
Hopefully they will let you.
Yeah, no, they could also throw me out, but I'm optimistic about that.
Over here.
Hi. What are the most important lessons you personally learned during your time at Microsoft?
I'd say a couple. Number one, patience. We worked on Windows for 8 years. We failed, we got back up. We failed again, we got back up. And being patient, being tenacious, so important, so important. I'd say that's probably number one. Number two, I think that talented people will always have a level of success, but luck is an important factor to having outsized success. And we have certainly been successful beyond anything Bill Gates or I ever anticipated. And that was a lot of hard work and also some luck.
Next one over here.
Hi, Steve. You mentioned in your story that you also care a lot about family and the private stuff, but how can you make time for that kind of stuff? Because I think that you're one of the most busiest men now on this time, in this crisis. So much things to do. How do you make the time for your private life?
Excel. No, I'm serious. I have a budget, a time budget that I manage in Excel. And it says travel, 85 nights a year, and then I allocate them. It says, a time to spend one-on-one with employees, check. Time to think, check. Time to travel, check. And then my secretary and I, we're always allocating against the budget. She has a rule. When I'm in town, I don't start meetings without very special exceptions before 8, so I can help get the kids moving and going to school. I used to drive to the bus, but my oldest boy now drives the other 2 little guys to school. So I'm pretty disciplined. I'm out here this week. I'm in Europe. I'll work, 18 hours a day. I love it. I'm charged up. I'm excited. But the rule is I'm going to be home Friday night, and I'll be there for my 10-year-old's football game on Saturday. And I'm just, you got to be disciplined and budget. I happen to use Excel myself for that purpose.
You're a very busy man, and actually your staff is telling me already that you have to go actually right now. But before you go, before we let you go, what is the best advice in these terrible times of crisis you can give to the over 600 students here at the Erasmus University? What is your best advice?
The most important thing I said earlier, but I'll emphasize it again. Find something. Find it while you're at Erasmus. Find it when you get out and you're working. Find something that just whoosh, really switches you on. You know, with me, I got switched on 3 times really in my life before I got to Microsoft. Miss Van Stickle
Yes.
scared me and switched me on.
Your perfect teacher from Belgium, yes.
Absolutely, number one. But that was it. I had a teacher when I was in 9th grade who decided I was good at math. And he started really encouraging me and pushing me. And I got switched on when I was in high school about math. But then when I got to college, I decided I didn't love math anymore. What was I going to get switched on by? And I became what we call the manager for the football team at Harvard, which meant I had to organize the buses and the meals when we were traveling. It's a logistics job. But it really switched me on to the things of business. If you want to make a difference and be your best, realize, as we say at Microsoft, your full potential, it's because you're going to be passionate, you're going to care, you're going to be activated and energized, and I can't think of anything that sort of leads to greater rewards in life than that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Stay, just a second. Before you go, wait a second, sit down. You say somewhere when we were researching you that when somebody sends you an email, they will get a response. And we tried it, and you did respond, I think, within 7 hours, which is quite amazing with the time difference. So, everybody who has watched this show, als je hebt gekeken, als je wilt reageren op Steve Ballmer, we're gonna make you a busy boy. No, we won't give your email address, but our
I already
email address.
did.
Oh, yes, you did. college.tour@nps.nl. Dat is ons e-mailadres. Stuur al je reacties op deze man, op deze uitzending naar dat e-mailadres. En dan kijken we wel wat we ermee doen. We sturen ze allemaal door. Hartstikke bedankt voor het kijken. Steve Ballmer, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.